Hello and welcome to the second session for West Sussex Mind. My name is Rachel and I'm delivering for West Sussex Mind, and it's paid for by West Sussex County Council. Okay, so for this section, we're going to look at ways that we can have conversations and communicate with children and young people about self-harm. And like I said in the first one, all of the links that we talk about are going to be sent out to you. Any of the theories, anything else that I mentioned will be on the PDF that will be on the page with the videos. So firstly, we're just going to watch a video. It's from an organisation called Amaze, and again you will get this link sent on the PDF alongside these videos.
Have you ever noticed a friend wearing long sleeves on a really hot day? Have you often noticed a lot of small scratches or cuts on their skin that they say were caused by a cat or make some other kind of strange excuse? Those could be signs that they are inflicting harm on their own body. People who self-harm are trying to find some relief from or take control of very intense feelings of rage, rejection, sorrow, loneliness, or emptiness by making shallow scratches, cuts, or burns. When the main issue the person is dealing with is not treated, the feelings of relief from cutting often lessen over time. The person then might find that they want to self-injure more often and more severely to try and get those same feelings again. Getting help can be very difficult for people who self-harm. The feeling of relief from cutting is often followed by feelings of intense guilt and shame. However, it's important to find other, more effective ways to cope with the underlying feelings. Parents, friends, school counselors, social workers, and other trusted adults are all people to whom people who harm themselves can turn to for help, so they do not have to feel so alone. If your friend or someone you care about shares that they are self-harming themselves, please don't promise to keep this a secret, as your friend needs help from a trusted adult or counselor.
Until next time, don't forget to visit me at amaze.org or go to my YouTube channel to watch more. Bye!
Okay, now I know that that is very American, but part of that is just showing a video and then a young person saying, I hate that video, I prefer this, or this might be more useful, or there's a reason I did not like that video. So you're really welcome not to like it, you're welcome to use it, you're welcome not to use it. But I think for me, I have use it in sessions with young people, and you know, they like it or they don't like it, but it's more just because a conversation starter and they can agree or disagree with it. The one useful thing in that video is quite a lot of stuff around online safety. It's always a girl who is the victim, whether from grooming or from anything around this, and in there is a male, which can be quite useful. Okay, so on the screen now you'll see a page of logos, and these page of logos I use in all my work. So whenever I'm working with young people, I still do sessions in schools. It opens up discussion, and again you will have this page of logos in your you'll have this page of logos as part of the pack after these sessions. So you can use it however you wish. When we deliver face-to-face, when we deliver live, it's an opportunity for practitioners, foster carers, anyone working or living with children and young people, just to have a conversation about it. Now, whenever I use this, I'm not interested in how many you know or whether you know that Twitter is now X. I'm not interested in any of that. I always use the themes that we did in the previous session. So which theme is relevant for you right now? So when you look at the page of logos, are you most worried about who people are interacting with? Are you more concerned about the content, what is being viewed, shared, downloaded? Are you more concerned about conduct? Is it bullying, cyberbullying, that seems to be the big thing at the moment? And that could be through any of those apps, including WhatsApp, including gaming. Is it the selling of children, or is it overuse? Now, so you can open up the dialogue with children and young people. Which ones for you are the most risky? Which ones do you get the strangest messages on? Which ones do you know how to block and report? You are experts at working with your young people, but the page of logos of whichever question you decide to use, I always learn something. Now, the second one on here is which ones might be useful for getting help online. Now, that is really key. So this isn't for an 8-year-old, but if you are working with those older ones, those 15 years, 16-year-olds, quite often they have got sources of support online. They might not be the places that we think around. And when we do the signposting in the next session, it might not be the place where we think around, but it's just opens up the dialogue again. Where are you getting help? And it could be anywhere on the anywhere on here that they feel that they are getting help. And then lastly, because this session is around self-harm, use the information we've just seen. So you might have just watched that video. Where, how, why do you think this information is being shared online? So it could be that you're working with someone who you think is self-harming, or they've come to you for support around self-harming. It could be you're working with a young person and you're just really aware that they are supporting their friends. And you might want to interrupt there and think around, actually, you don't want young people necessarily supporting each other. How can you open up the dialogue? So as I said, this page of logos, and you can change it, do whatever you want. If you've got a real craze going on in your organisation and there's something missing on there, you can add to it. I keep some real dated ones on there, and they love that it's not X or Twitter, but sometimes, depending on who they are, you might want to make sure that it's current. Okay. Now, in the next section, we are going to look at parental controls and we are going to look at signposting. But this one is communication, and we're thinking around how you are speaking to children and young people about their online lives. Now, this is probably the most commonly asked questions in all of my sessions. So the key thing is that people ask, at what age should a child have a phone? At what age do you think they should have social media? Do I agree with the social media under 16 ban? And I think we're not asking the question, we're not asking the right questions. For me, it's what are the stages to a child having their own account? What are the stages to a child having their own phone? And I always use the analogy of going to the park. So a child age 2, 3 can have a couple of minutes away from you. When they're queuing for the slide, if you've got another child, you know where they are, you can hear them, but you might not see them for a minute. You're in an enclosed play area, but you know where they are. That time alone increases. So by the time they're year 4 or 5, they're going to the park, you're after school, you'll be with the other parent and carers, and you can hear them, but they might be in the trees, they might have found some ants, they might be playing different stories. So their time alone increases. Then finally, you might cross them over the road, they might play basketball, they might go for a bike ride all around, they might be sort of on their own, and then you go and collect them. And then finally, they go to the park on their own. If we're saying they have a couple of minutes away from you at 3, they might not go to the park on their own until they're 13. There is an awful lot of parenting that goes on for a child being independent in the park. And I just want that to translate to being online. So it could be, these stages, you can make them up, you can change them. And like I say, when we do face-to-face sessions, we think around this, but this is thinking around communication. So I've worked with kinship carers where a grandmother was saying, my 8-year-old is desperate for TikTok and it's becoming a real battleground. Well, 8-year-olds shouldn't really have access to TikTok on their own. And when we ask questions, is that 8-year-old wanted to see the lionesses do dance routines. They'd heard them mention it and they wanted to see it. And so with that, the solution was the grandmother downloaded TikTok on her phone. I think she followed Strictly, Bake Off and the Lionesses, and the granddaughter was able to have a quick look at the Lionesses, see what they're up to. Her interest waned over time and the grandmother ended up deleting TikTok. But for that, it wasn't the thing that was most desperate for that child, that whenever they got a device, that they would try and get onto TikTok and see something, and then who knows what they're going to see. So then they might not have the log on, but you allow them time to look alone. So that's some of the gaming. Is some people are saying the strategies with some of the gaming is that you've got time limits put on there, but it's also they haven't got the log on. You always have to log them onto their device, and then they do that. They might then get their own device, their own phone, but you check constantly what they do. You've got the parental controls on there and you check constantly. And then the final stage could be it's their own device, but it's checked at planned time. So every Thursday you're having a look. It allows them, if they are 15, to have independence, have a privacy, but they know how to clean up their digital footprint once a week. Those sections on there, that could be 10 years. And I'm much more passionate about, is a child ready to have a phone? Do they know how to block and report? Have they been alongside you? Have they seen what a scam message looked like? Have they seen what bullying looks like? Do they know what it is? I'm much more keen that they have gone through some stages, that we are scaffolding children being having access to devices, the internet, rather than they're not allowed anything and then they get everything, whether that's 11, 13, 16. I'm much more passionate about we are teaching them what to do. And I will just say about that, there's a huge movement at the moment around smartphone free generation. And I just really want to say with that, it only takes one phone to alter play. So if you've got primary school children all going to the park after school and they are usually in the woods, going on the swings, doing whatever, if one child's got a smartphone, play has been altered. So yeah, it's just in terms of communication with children and young people and what they are up to. So this is the final slide in this section. Get involved, know what social media platforms and apps that they are using. Interrupt the algorithm, and by that, algorithms are very, very powerful. So if a child has been looking at something, whether it's self-harm content or online harms content, the algorithm can sometimes bombard them, and that was the situation in the Molly Russell case. We want to interrupt this algorithm. Now, one of the ways to do that is just to send positive videos. It's not, the algorithm will follow that lead. So it's not going to happen overnight. But if we say to a child, you've always got to send me a funny video, once a day they are looking at positive videos. Ensure they know how to block and report. Identify net support and help. So do they know where to get help, whether that's logging onto Childline or some of the websites? And just keep talking, ask open questions and remain curious. And the final thing with that is just normalize people making mistakes. So if we're really honest as adults about how we learn to be safer online, lots of the ways was making mistakes. You know, I had public profiles on social media and then eventually locked them all down. So we've made mistakes and then we've cleaned it all up as well. Okay, so that's section 2, and section 3 is going to be around parental controls and signposting.